How are you doing? Hello, squatties. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. As you know, we're a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, 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 my friends. Oh, welcome to Archetypes Tuesday. Hope you guys have had a chance to listen. Hope you had enjoyed it. I hope you were as shocked as I was. I was thinking that there would be, because I was hoping there would be Harry leading into men. So I figured there'd be some men something. I just wasn't expecting this. So I'm going to be in the chat for most of this episode. And I just want to hear what you guys thought about the episode. And yeah, hi, my friends. Let's just see who is in the chat. Hope you guys are hearing me well. My mic is something seemed to be going on and off, so I hope the sound is okay. So anyways, I'm just gonna say hi to my friends in the chat right now. Hi guys, how are you? I see Fancy and Rosanna and Rosa and Victoria is here. Who else is here? Church Nelly, our awesome moderator, is here. Hi, Church Nelly. And Janine is here. And I know I saw Lydia here today. Let's see. Oh, our awesome moderator Karen is here. Hey, Karen, how are you? Here's Lydia. Lydia, hey. Happy to see you. Happy you're here. Rosa is that Annie. And Annie. I'm so sorry. I'm like Annie Bennett. Victoria Fabre. Gwendolyn is here. Hi, my friends. Black Queen is here. Nancy is here. Hi. Joan Commonwealther is here. Emerald is here. Hi, guys. Welcome. And Lorna is here. And Gwendolyn. Welcome, 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 my friends. Hope Garden is here. Hi, Hope's Garden. And Ghislaine and Hazel and Mad World is here. Hi, everyone. Has got Mad World there. Hey, how are you? She's like, hey, pedal mods. And Kanitha's joined us. Hi, Kanitha and Ghislaine. I think I just said Ghislaine before. But anyways, guys, were you surprised? What did you think? What did you think of the conversations? I want to hear from you about today's episode. I'm just gonna take this out. This is Glenn is saying hello to everyone. And yes, so today I would have never guessed this one. And all of a sudden I was just very happy I didn't even bother doing like a poll because I don't think any of us would have guessed this one anyway. But it was wonderful. It was great to hear me, and we've had 11 episodes of the voices of women. As she said, the only time we heard a man was Harry in the first, just for like a second, saying hello in the first episode. But it was all women, so it was great to hear the guys' perspective and what they thought. And Meghan gave them an hour and something. I think this was the longest episode. I mean, they only got one, so she gave them some extra time to be able to say what they need to say. After all, again, we've heard, about 11 hours of women, of all different types of women, sharing their perspective. So it was good to hear. Now I hope going forward that the episodes, which it looks like we're going to have a season 2, they're going to be longer, which would be fantastic because at the end we're like, we want more. So it was great to hear from these men. So, Ghislaine, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Church Nelly, that girl is poison. Yes. It's so funny. I've always had a very mixed reaction to that song. I totally understand where Meghan was coming from with that song because I love the beat. I love everything about the song except the message of the song, because I would be singing like, that girl is poison. And it was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so it's just this, definitely had this mixed reaction to this song. Like, I love everything, the beat, the rhythm, the music, everything except the message of that song. And so, but it was fun hearing Megan singing Belle Biv DeVoe. Song Poison definitely brought back memories. Where are these guys anyway? I don't know that I've seen or heard of them in quite a long time. So who knows? Gwendolyn says the podcast was absolutely fabulous. Really love the Trevor Noah. I feel the same. He's the one that I feel more, and I think too, as a Black woman, his story and his experience, and how he grew up and all of that stuff. I feel more connected to that. Obviously, as a Black woman, I definitely felt more connected, and I think his more it was more. I think there was a level of depth and vulnerability there, especially in talking about with his mom and what his mom experienced, and his level of understanding about who he is, and getting in touch with that. I don't want to say feminine side, but the gentler side of him. I think for me, I connected a lot more. The other guys were fine as well. I just, him, I just connected more with. Plus, I think because I know more, or at least I paid more attention to Trevor Noah than I have, with Judd Apatow or with Andy Cohen. So it was very interesting. Let's see. What else you all are saying in the Lydia's like, love Trevor Noah. Yeah, me too. Mad World says, I always knew Andy was the type of person that didn't interact with someone unless it benefits him. To find out he gave Meghan the brush off back in the day didn't surprise me. Now he wants her on the show. And I think, yeah, I could say that to a lot of, Hollywood. I mean, that's kind of the culture there. I mean, if especially if you don't have a name, or if you're not famous or popular, whatever, you will get the brush off. To them, you're nothing at that time, but I love their interaction in terms of, hey, I'm gonna build the housewives of Montecito around. You don't even have to audition. But I love that, Megan talked about the awkwardness, about, not getting on a show and then meeting him, but then he didn't know. But so I love how they played it off. I mean, it's just, I feel like that's just kind of the culture Hollywood is. It's like, if you're quote unquote someone in the business, then they'll pay attention to you. And if you're not quote unquote someone, they just won't. It's just, that's how the culture is, unfortunately. So yeah. But I love that Megan played it off, and they just, joked about it, because I think they both understand that's just how it was then. Hopefully it has changed. I don't think very much, but you know, they're in different places now. But I love is like Megan's like, oh, this is my I think she said something like, this is my is this my audition for the Housewives of Montecito? I love it. Question: Has Am I the only person who has never seen an episode of any of those housewife shows? I have never been into reality TV, for one thing. And one, I don't even watch TV. I mean, you don't need to watch TV. I'm sure you could stream it on, whatever platform. But I have never ever seen an episode. I mean, I've seen, clips of, different people, but it's just never been my thing. So I have literally never seen any of them. It's the same way with, say, the Kardashians, or whatever show, the show that Paris Hilton and all of those people. I have literally never, ever, ever seen any of their shows. Never. I mean, I knew who they were because, they were on all the magazines and all of those things, but I've never seen any of their shows. So I don't know. Am I the only one, or has everyone else seen it? And I mean, I would hope I'm not the only one, but who knows? Church Nelly says, I love the movie Knocked Up by Judd. Again, I had never seen the movie. I'm very far behind on movies. I haven't seen it. They did mention that, I think it was Mannequin, that I did see a long, long, long time ago. Let's see. Hmm. Lorna says, this podcast was so shady. I loved it. No one does undercover shade like Meghan. Yeah, she does. We'll talk about one of her shades. I don't even see it as a shade. It was a flat out, I know what you did and I know what you've been trying to do, but yes. I won't be buried. We'll get to that in a second. Madwell says, Trevor is deep and insightful. In what way? Let me know in what ways that stood out to you. I'd love to know. Let's see. Oh, Emerald says, I bought a Trevor's book, or I bought, okay, when I was in Johannesburg, and it was well worth reading. What did you get out of it, Emerald? I'd love to know. Share. Do share what you got out of his book. Um, let's see. Oh, 1998 champion says, she's just trying to sneak a listen here at work. Okay, so don't get caught, but feel honored that you would sneak out and just to get a little listen. But the replay is there if you need to go back to work. It's always there, so you can jump back later and catch the rest of it. But happy that you can join us for a few minutes, possibly. Nancy says, Trevor, my home buddy out SA is proud. Oh, okay. So Nancy's from South Africa. Of course. He's doing great. He moved here to do the show and he did great and now he's leaving. I don't know if his last episode aired again. I mean, I hadn't paid attention. I know he's leaving to go focus on his other, the guy is super talented. So, and kudos to him, knowing when to step out and go focus on other areas, creative areas in your life. So I love that. I love that he is doing that. Let's see. What else? Oh, Judge Nelly is saying that I've never watched a reality TV show. I never will. Well, there you go. I got one person. I have one person who hasn't. And Lydia says, I used to watch Atlanta version and Potomac, but got too toxic. Okay. The only thing, the only clips that I ever see of this stuff on Twitter or, wherever is just women screaming and yelling at each other. And I think they put that there for attention. I would hate to think like a whole show would be about that or them, whose husband is leaving or who's sleeping with whose husband and all of that stuff. And of course they would use those clips to attract attention or to stir outrage or whatever, but I would hate to think that the whole show is about that. Meghan even questioned Andy about that, and it's funny because before today, because I don't really pay attention to reality shows, I had no idea that Andy Cohen was a executive producer. I had no idea he had anything to do with reality show. No idea. I only know that he has this other show that Meghan was saying that she tried to get on his show and she wasn't able to. And so, but I had no idea about his involvement with any of those shows. And it's very interesting how he, when Meghan asked him about, just say the negative stereotypes about the show, that he didn't really see it that way at all. And that he saw it as that just it's women who are, especially he talks about the one in New York. He said that I didn't even realize there was a Real Housewives of New York. Somehow I missed that. I had no idea. And he talks about them being he thinks that is the most feminist show on television because of how they embrace their sexuality and they don't feel like they need a woman to, live their lives or live their best lives and all of that stuff. So it was very interesting hearing the different thoughts about how they view it, because I sort of had Meghan's view of, say, reality shows like the Beverly Hills Housewives or any of the Housewives franchise. I sort of had the same idea or the same thought about it. But it was very interesting that Meghan included a couple of quotes. One from Gloria Steinem, her view on it, which was really my view on it, on it, and it says, Gloria says, it is a woman all dressed up and inflated and plastic surgeried and false bosomed and not getting along with each other, fighting with each other. It is a minstrel show for women, and I don't believe it. And then on the other hand, we have Roxane Gay, who is another feminist. She's a Black feminist, and I think journalist and author. Roxane Gay says, I think the Real Housewife franchise allow women to be their truest selves. And we see the mess and we see the amazing friendships and everything in between. And when women are allowed to be their fullest selves, that's the most feminist thing we can do. So it's really wild because when I heard because again, I totally had the view of Gloria and Meghan in a lot of ways when it comes to these type of shows. But then when I heard Roxanne when she said it, and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. I had not thought of it in that way. Look, we are so multidimensional. We're not one-dimensional people. And there are so many, we are so vast in how we present ourselves. And we just literally need to let women present themselves how they present themselves and just see the full range with all the, and she talked about seeing the messiness of their life, but also the great friendships, and also there was standing in their power, and all the it's just a range of women. And so for her, she said that's the most feminist we can be. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, I hadn't thought of it. So now I have to sort of like, okay, I'm gonna accept that part of it as well and not be as judgment. Again, I haven't seen the shows, so I couldn't speak. But I just, in my mind and my judgment of what the shows are, or what the shows are, or the people on it, and seeing like, okay, that's just another form of a person expressing who they are. They're not one dimensional. They could be messy in some areas, but in other areas they're fine, just like all of us. And so I think it took down my judgment a bit when I heard her describe it like that. And and so it was just like, oh, well, that's very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. But I do, one of my reasons for staying away from a lot of the reality thing is anytime I would see a clip of it, it's exactly what Lydia was talking about, the toxicity. It just seemed really toxic. And I just never want to sit there and listen to people just scream at each other, or, cuss at each other, or, talking about each other's, gossip. And like, it's not my thing. And so let's see. Oh, 1998 champion says, I used to watch The Housewives like crazy, but New Jersey brought the franchise down. Oh no. Our neighbors across the river is going to be like, what? Now it's just all about fighting and degrading each other. And that's the thing. That's the clips that I see. Anytime I see a clip, it's usually that. And I'm like, I don't want to sit there and watch something like that. Oh, Lorna is the same. She said, I've never seen a housewife show, just the clips of them. I think a lot of us are in the same boat. And the clips are not very inviting. Denise says, the Atlanta one, I call it the tear down other Black women, other Black women show. It's sad. Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. Annie says, I have enough sitcom in my own family. I think a lot of us could say exactly the same. A lot of us could say exactly the same. Oh, hi, Joan. Welcome. Let's see. Joyce says, we'll have to admit. Well, I have to admit, I have watched many and have my favorites. Oh, which ones are your favorites, Joyce? Do tell. Just do tell. Let's see. Content Caligal says, Andy's about ratings. Don't like the negativity and the hate. I often wonder how these women view themselves after watching. One of the things that, was very interesting is I remember Megan asking him about, some of the women maybe playing into the tropes because she did mention when Paris Hilton was on, Paris Hilton did say specifically they hired her to be the quote unquote dumb blonde. And so Megan had asked about, if some of the women play into, like, they are hired to play a certain stereotype, and they play into that, whether it's to be the likable one or to be the ones that the audience hate, because there's always has to be that competition of the one the audience loves and the one they hate. Do they play? And Andy Cohen pretty much says who you see is who they are. He says, according to my emails or whatever, outside of filming, they are, it's exactly who they are, and they're, I guess, encouraged to be their selves. As he says, they don't really hire wallflowers, so maybe that's how they are in real life. Who knows? That's, at least, I don't know. I haven't seen it and I don't know them. So but according to him, that's how they are. So if that's how they are, I mean, I would assume they are okay with portraying themselves in that way or presenting themselves in that way, and that they are, again, who they are. Carol says, I haven't watched that show. Okay. Carol hasn't. She's like me. I have not watched. Let's see. Andy is the same as always. I didn't like how he treated Giselle when she was talking about her feelings. He dismissed and start joking about her book being thrown in the trash. Okay, I don't know who Giselle is. And again, I don't know much about Andy Cohen and don't really follow him. So I don't know this part. So maybe you'd like to explain, Mad World, as I go down the chat. Most likely would run into it again. So maybe explain to us what this is. Because I don't know what this is about. So, but throwing someone's book in a trash is like a no. Oh my goodness. Or at least joking about someone's book being thrown in the trash. That's not cool. Karen says, "You're not the only one because I won't watch any of those reality shows." She's just making it clear. Hi, Elaine Parker from UK, joining us from the UK. There you go. Let's see. Joan says, looked at Atlanta a couple of times years ago, but the fighting and nastiness was appealing. Oh, maybe unappealing, so I quit. Okay. And it's so funny. Those shows are so popular. And I guess some people, I guess it's a reason why some people love Car Crash. They love to see that sort of thing. Yeah, no judgment. I mean, we love what we love, so far be it for me to sit in judgment of what somebody, what they allow, what they accept. So yeah, it appeals to some people. Emerald says, I used to watch Atlanta Housewives, but it got too toxic and messy for my liking. Wait a minute, did I read that before? I don't know. Maybe I did. Let's see. Gwendolyn thinks they're crazy. Don't like any of the reality shows. Think they are crazy. Let's see. What did you guys get out of what specifically, like, you think you felt like you got out of the different conversations? Whether it's Trevor Noah or Andy Cohen or Judd Apatow. I have to say, it didn't get a whole lot from Judd Apatow. I haven't really, I don't know. It just, I mean, the one thing I did get out of with him was his growth, because they were talking about just from his early movies to, I guess, the later ones, where I guess he was single at that time, and you have a different perspective, and now he's married and have kids, and so he's grown in his writing, and instead of presenting women as these one or two dimensional characters, now they are more nuanced, and so I think, which is a good thing. He's learning, and his wife, who Meghan absolutely loves, is definitely has input. So I think that's really, really important. And I love what actually, I guess I did get something out of this. I love what he talked about. You are where you are today, and you basically right where you are today. But then it's okay for tomorrow to be like, oh wait, you know what? I'm changing my mind from what we did yesterday because I've grown and I've learned something new. So I'm gonna change, and giving yourself the space to be able to change into a different person or a new person based on what you've learned then of the following day or the following month or the following year. So I actually really like that. I actually really really like that. So I would love to know specifically what you got out of that. Let's see. um and it's funny, I loved Andy Cohen talking about his mom and his sister. Growing up in the 80s, I mean, I totally understand with Three's Company and stuff, even though I love the Three's Company and I love them. But that same quote unquote dumb blonde thing growing up and seeing that. And it was great that he was able to, even though that's what was on television, that was popular on television, his view of women wasn't based on that per se, but more of seeing his mom as a strong, intelligent, and his sister, women. And so that was cool. That was really cool that, he wasn't at the time not affected by that trope. Let's see. Oh, wait, I'm missing something. I'm gonna scroll all the way down. Connie Bama, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. And Alan Vernon, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alan says, used to watch Trevor until he made a joke about Meghan that I found in bad taste and have not watched him since. Oh, I didn't realize he made a bad joke about Meghan. It seems he was always supportive, and maybe Meghan is okay with it because obviously she got him on the show. So, I don't know. I again don't watch TV, and so I didn't know he made a bad joke. I know he makes jokes about the royal family quite a bit, and he's not very sympathetic. Not sympathetic, but he's not very favorable towards them. So I know of that. But I didn't know that he made a joke about Meghan. So I don't know. So maybe elaborate. Let us know what that is, or maybe not if it's really bad. And I probably don't really want that. But it seemed that Meghan is, she invited him on the show, so she must be okay with whatever that is. So yeah. Let's see. Joan says, oh, she's talking to Lydia. I agree. Plus, I got tired of Black women putting each other down all the time. Okay, so I guess on the show that's it's there. And again, those are the kind of clips that you would see that for me just turned me off ever watching any of that. So yeah. Oh, there's a South Africa version. I never watched The Real Housewives until we had our own South Africa version. Then I started watching. Oh, well, what is it like? What is the South Africa version like? Do tell, Melissa. Oh, didn't realize that. Wow. Let's see. Lorna says, I cut off cable and went over the air and went to over the air TV when our daughter got hooked on that reality crap. I recently tried bringing it back, but daughter said no, she doesn't want to lose PBS and TVO. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Let's see. Megan says she had no desire to do any reality show. There goes the BM and the Rangers assumption. They are so hooked on Megan doing a reality show, which is what I think the Phantom docu series they were saying it was a fly on the wall reality show. I mean, but you think about it. The royal family, they were the first ones, that to do reality show before reality show was a reality show. I mean, I said it before, they were the original Kardashians because they do have a fly on the wall reality show, which the Queen basically has now banned. And, you may be able to find clips of it on YouTube or something, but they had a fly on the wall reality show. So when they try to put people down or put shows down or whatever, it's just like, yeah, your royals were the Kardashians before the Kardashians were even born. So you have nothing to speak about. You have no ground to stand on when it comes to that. So yeah. Hope's Garden says, Petal, I'm no watcher of the reality show either. The anything goes mentality turns me off. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming it gets pretty dicey sometimes there. So yeah, I could totally see that. Rootsy says, hello, squaddies. I'm so impressed by Meghan. No one could have guessed that three men would close the Archetype series. All our guesses were so far off from the truth. Listen to it more than twice. Okay, I've listened to it twice. So yeah, I would have never guessed that. So that's why I'm very happy I didn't even bother doing the poll, because none of us would have guessed this. um, but it's just that, Meghan is all about, and everything she's done is always bringing men into the conversation. And as she says, it was Harry was just like, in order to have like a really full discussion about this, well, you got to include men as well. And so I love that. Let's see. Going on. Madwell says the Real Housewives of New York is having casting issues due to racism. Oh, they're still working on bringing them back. Oh, so it went off and now they're having racist issues. Okay. Well, okay, didn't know that. Victoria says Trevor Noah's last day hosting the Daily Show is on December 8th. A new host will start January 17th. Okay, so a lot of things are happening around the December 6th, December 8th there. We have two things happening with Harry and Meghan, the awards, and then that People's Choice Award show. And then the 8th is Trevor Noah's last day hosting the Daily Show. Wow, interesting. Oh, why, thank you, Patricia. I'm glad you're here as well. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be hanging out with you. Sandy said the Windsor's reality show has beaten all reality show in existence. Grew up in a rough ghetto environment, and snippets of these shows are called ghetto to me, spiritually, immorally, and degrading. Okay, yeah. Yep. See, some of us have very strong feelings about reality shows, and some of us, some of us have never seen it and still, like myself, and still had a very, strong bias against it. But again, I take on a little bit of what Roxane Gay said about it. And it's just, accepting that women, we are many, we present ourselves in many ways. And it's just, allowing women the freedom to be fully who they are. And I take on a little bit of that. So I appreciate that. Change my opinion a little bit there. So yeah. Let's see. Jan Martin says, hi, Petal and Squaddies. Happy Tuesday to you. Well, happy Tuesday to you, Jan. How is everyone doing? I'm doing great. Can't speak for everyone, but they seem to be doing great. So everybody could let Jan know how you're doing. I certainly hope there's a second season of Archetypes. Well, according to how Meghan ended it, she said, I'll see you on the flip side. So, hey, and it's saying, this season. So it sure looks like there's going to be another season of Archetypes, whatever form that takes. And I mean, Spotify would be kind of stupid to not, because it is such a conversation piece. I mean, I haven't, and again, before Archetypes, I paid a little bit of attention to Spotify podcasts, Glennon Doyle, or there are a couple of others that I would listen to, but I had never heard of a podcast that was just so in the news all the time and just so there and so many people talking about it. It just really, again, it's such a great conversation piece that, that it just, I think it's kind of revolutionized in a way how people think about podcasts, and it just puts it there present in people's minds in a way that I don't think other podcasts have. And so I think Spotify would be kind of stupid to not, renew it. Yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't have another season of Archetypes, whatever form it takes. Maybe next season would have, a combination of men and women. Who knows? Or maybe all, a whole season of men. Who knows? So it's I'm very much interested in seeing, you know, what she'll do. But again, surprise! It's very surprised. Teresa says, hi, oh, I love this HAI there. Ooh. Even though I know it's probably a typo, but I love that HAI. Hi, Pedal and Squatties. Last episode is fantastic with great men's conversation to close the season. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I'm really happy to hear from the men. Oh, well, happy Patricia, impatiently waiting for my birthday on Thursday. Church Nelly, is your birthday on Thursday? Well, happy birthday to you. So we'll have to be singing happy birthday to Church Nelly next week. And we'll get you some more nacho photos absolutely for your birthday. And it's not even going to include Delphina. So there. Dana Sheckle says, I was hoping Archetypes ended with a power of Menon and M did just so. I understand Andy's view, and I know you can't be a wimp or guarded to survive any housewife shows. I signed off 2 years ago. There you go. Yes. And like he said, the women, what you see there is who they are. And he talks about, they don't hire wallflowers. They certainly hire women who are there and not afraid to be who they are, publicly be who they are. So there. Joanne Baker says, oh, Pedal, I come from the same perspective as you. I stopped watching The Housewives years ago. Okay. Yep. Let's see. One of the things I love what Trevor Noah talked about is, in terms of like he was talking about well, one, it's like a saying that he and I think he kind of paraphrased it a little bit, or I think he says he paraphrased it. He talks about, especially in terms of Black women's experience, and he talks about, a Black man and a Black woman, when they're walking down the streets, they get stones thrown at them, but when they get home, she gets stones thrown at her. And that was for me so powerful. What did you guys think about that? Because it's so true. It's that saying that, Black women are the most disrespected and the most really abused people on the planet. And so that really, really, really struck a chord when he said that. Along with talking about his mom, being shot. Like I didn't know anything about Trevor Noah's background at all. And I had no idea, about his mom. I think I saw a picture of him visiting, and there was a picture, I think, of him and his mom. That's all I knew about his childhood. I didn't know, like he said, his father, he couldn't live with his father because of apartheid. They wouldn't allow like a Black woman and a white man to live together. And also didn't know about his mom's second husband shooting her. Like I had no idea. I was like, what? And then his mom, saying, to not allow yourself to get to a place where you hate him, because she didn't want to take that on her, and that's a burden that only she would have to bear. And it was just like, whoa, what did you guys think of that? I just was like, I was floored. But first and foremost was just him talking about, in public, black women along with black men get stones thrown at her, and the woman goes home and you think it's a safe place, and even there she gets stones thrown at her. And that really stood out for me. I was just like, oh my goodness, that is just, ooh. Yeah, that really impacted me when he said that. So it'd be interesting to hear. It'll be interesting to hear your take, and I'm gonna go all the way at the bottom and go back up. So I'm hoping I don't miss any of your amazing posts. Let's see. Emerald says, his book is so true about the apartheid years. Okay. I haven't read his book, so I don't. I mean, I'm assuming stories about him, his mother, and his father, would be in there, and about them not being allowed to live together. I don't know. His father is still there? I don't know. He said his father is from Switzerland, and but lived most of his life in South Africa. So yeah. Catherine says Meghan could have talked to Trevor for a whole hour. He was such an engaging, well-rounded man. I know, that was the one for me. I felt like that was the most. It felt like Meghan enjoyed that conversation more. And not that she didn't enjoy the others, but and I think also too, because as Black women, we will connect more with that, because that's how I connected as well. And I felt like she was more into this conversation than even the other two. Even though she was into them, this one, it just felt like the connection was there. And at least it connected to my heart more. Yeah. Gwendolyn says he did a special with his grandmother. Oh, okay. See, now I need to go and do some because we didn't know Trevor Noah was going to be on. I got to do some homework on Trevor Noah and get to learn about him, because it's just so very interesting and it's just so deep. And I'd love to know his more of his history. And so, yeah. Joan says, Trevor's statement made me hold my breath. I guess it's hold my breath for a minute. Yeah, that hit. That really hit. Oh yeah, Lydia saying the same thing. That hit me and touched my heart. Yeah, it definitely hit. Because yeah, it doesn't matter where we as Black women are. Even in our own homes, we get rocks thrown at us. And it's just the disrespect for Black women. Even today, I actually even tweeted about it, so I forgot to bring on the tweet. But we talked about a lot of times how, especially rich Black people, how a section of the white population, especially white men, always want to be in Black people's pockets, counting their money. There is this article, I think it's in Variety, that just came out, I think today or last night, whenever it came out, about Howard Stern deciding that, Oprah is flaunting her wealth and it just doesn't make him feel comfortable. And so he's attacking Oprah because in his mind, she is flaunting her wealth and that's not a good thing. This is a man who is a filthy rich man. There are videos of Howard Stern and his homes and all of that stuff on YouTube right now. You can go find it. This man has no problem with Jeff Bezos and others flaunting their wealth and having rockets and all of that stuff. He has no problem with crazy one who just took over Twitter. He has no problems with white people flaunting their wealth all over the place. But he's going to attack a Black woman who has always shared her wealth, who has always encouraging and share it in a way so that we would aspire to what she has. No, he looks past all the white people gosh, there is cribs and all of those things of white people just flaunting their wealth all over the place. But go after a Black woman who worked for her money to attack her because, oh, me, oh, white man does not feel comfortable because she is rich and she can show it off. And so I literally had to tweet like, dear white men and white people, black women, our lives, we are not living our lives for your comfort. We don't care if you're comfortable about how the way we live our lives or how we spend our money and if we choose to flaunt it or not. We don't care. Mind your business and stop counting our money. Stay out of black people's wallets. And it's so funny. We talked about this before because it's the same thing they did to Barack Obama. And Trevor Noah was the one when, Barack Obama started doing speaking engagements after he left the White House. And there was this whole big hubbub about Barack Obama making, I think it was $4 million a speech or something like that. And Trevor Noah was the one who's like, you make that money. Because when George Bush and the others and the Clintons, when they started doing speaking gigs and were making millions, nobody said a word. But leave a black man to do and make the same amount of money, and all of a sudden, a section of the white population decides, oh no, we need to count his money. And it's the same thing they're doing to Meghan. It's the same. I mean, I was just like, y'all need to just focus on your racist, misogynistic self and clean up your own lives instead of being in minding black people's business and being in black people's wallets, And so it just is really irritating to me. I'm sorry, I just went off on a tangent there. But it's just like the lack of respect for black people. And it's just like, y'all, I'm like, Anyway, moving on. Just kind of like, so it was so irritated to see that. Anyways, let's see who else. C-Max said, oh, she's talking to Lorna. I've done the same. He has the cheap sling so he can watch ESPN. Otherwise, I have a great intent. Okay, I am not really sure what you're saying. That's what happens when you jump into a conversation that you know what they're talking about. That's what happens. Church Nelly says apartheid is here in America too. Agree with Trevor Noah about the women's stereotype here in America. Yeah, very much so. Very, very, very much so. Probably now, since that they're all like trying to turn back time to what they term as, make America great again, or i.e., let's go back to Jim Crow era, which if America isn't careful, that is exactly where we will end up by the next election. So yeah. Let's see. Wendy Lohman says, reality shows, TV shows, so unreal and so much editing for drama effect. Wasted space. Definitely, I can see that. It's funny, when Andy was talking about it, and he was giving the scenario of Meghan having dinner with Oprah, and then they had a fight over the coup d'etat. And Meghan was like, oh yeah, and Ellen come over, and he's like, yeah, and next day you meet up with Ellen, and then if it's a reality show, then the producers or whoever would say, you know what, maybe I'll have a conversation with Ellen about that fight over the coup d'etat. It's just, that was very hilarious to me. Very, very, very hilarious to me. Them imagining what a Montecito housewife. And the funny thing is, don't be surprised if that takes off, because I'm sure there are women in Montecito who would be like, ooh, yes, I would want to do it. But, as Meghan made very clear, there's not going to be a Montecito housewives involving her. I'm going to scroll down again, see everyone at the bottom. Hope's Garden says, Trevor Noah is awesome, and I love listening to him. He freely tells his truth through comedy in his own terms beautifully. As for Howard Stern, he has been sanctioned before for his black comments. Duh. Okay. I don't follow Howard Stern. Would I be shocked? No. I don't know what he said in the past, but I just know this is just, racist white people trying to get attention and then using black people as, it's you see it so often. When they want to get attention, they step on black people, and that is what he's doing. And it's just like, dude, focus and focus on your own life and leave black women alone. Unbelievable. Oh, this is some good news. Educator says, nah, she's talking to Nash, and I'm just jumping in. My granddaughter just gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Well, congratulations to your granddaughter and your great daughter, now healthy baby girl. That is awesome. Yeah, celebration. So can we call her a baby squatty? So maybe not. Let's see. Madwell, I think you're it. I keep jumping on you, dropping on you, and it's she said, it's said my sister is successful black woman with multiple cars, etc., and people will her they will ask her how she can afford the cars or nice things that she pamper herself with. This drives me crazy. Yeah, because a lot of times they don't expect black women to have money. And that's the thing. That's the whole root of this whole thing, especially, say, with Howard Stern, etc. And, how people were behaving to words, say, the Barack Obama, is they have an issue. And the same thing they're doing with Harry and Meghan. The issue is not with Harry having money. They had no problem with the royal family having money. They have a problem with the black person in that family having money. That is the problem, So they can try to color that however they want to, but the whole thing is, in their minds, black people aren't supposed to have money. They don't mind out of their pockets. Oh, they'll, throw you a few change for charity or whatever. But God forbid especially a black woman, have her own money. And especially if that woman is richer than they are. Ooh, oh. Hence we see why, we see what's going on from Shutter Island. Joseph Bruno said the audacity of telling a black billionaire how to spend her money or telling him to hide their wealth. Boy, bye. I'm like, you just said it, Joseph. Exactly. Unbelievable. The audacity. Lottie says, I'm still not understanding why British people didn't want Harry and Meghan. I'm still not understanding why British people didn't want Harry and Meghan. Meghan is the best thing that ever happened to Harry. I'm still confused. I think a lot of people are confused. But, let's clear up any misunderstanding. Meghan is black. That's it. That's it. No matter what shade they want to put it, no matter what excuse they want to make as to why they are against this marriage or why, they are attacking Meghan or whatever. It doesn't matter what they come up with. The root of it is racism. The root of all of it is racism, because when you strip away the layers, it always comes back to one thing. Meghan has black blood. That's it. So for me, I refuse to go into it's this reason and this reason, because I know what the root of it is. We might as well just say it and be honest and open. It's what it is. She has black blood. And it's an affront to them that a person with black blood could walk into their monarchy and see all it is and be like, peace out, I'm going home. I'm going to have a life that I deserve. What you are doing is, it's like, oh, how dare she? How dare she not bow down to our royalty? How dare she? Yes. Again, the root of it is racism. Joanne is letting us know Pump City podcast just dropped a recording. These ladies are hilarious. Okay, so then at some point jump over to Pump City's podcast and see her whatever is hilarious over there. So that's awesome. Let's see. Amma says, exactly, they forgot Meghan was a millionaire before she met Harry. Again, Meghan is the only she's the only one who actually earned her own money. She's not inherited. She's the only self-made millionaire in that family. So, yeah. But, she has black blood. So therefore, in their minds, they will never accept that, because in their mind, the only reason Meghan married Harry is for fame and money. Because, her being a millionaire and having her own money doesn't, no. I know you have your own money, but you married for money. Because in their mind, it has to be that. It has to be, there is no way a black woman could have her own money. It has to be that she desperately wants royal title. She desperately wants the fame, and she desperately wants royal money. So let's ignore the fact that she had her own. Let's ignore the fact that all the things she achieved before she even knew Harry. Let's just ignore all that. It has, because she is a black woman, or biracial, or however you want to term her, it has to be that she has to marry for money and fame and title. Because that's as far as their minds, their very small minds could, allow them to go. Wendy Loman says that Oprah owned her coins. Honest work, not given to her. There you go. There you go. Cookies and Cream says, I read the article about Howard Stern. He's a rich white man telling a black woman how to spend her hard-earned money. The nerve of, hello. The absolute nerve and audacity and gall. So, yeah. Let's see, moving on. Some people just have, I think it's just, never mind. Let's move on. Another thing that, let me see, look at my notes for 1 second. Trevor Noah was talking about, how, because the whole thing was about how to change the narrative, like how to change where, the sort of the stereotypes that, that is, for example, in say the movie business, whatever, and how to, change the mindset around it. And so Trevor Noah was talking about when you build a house, you kind of build it to serve you. And then you don't think about other people who are coming into that house. For example, you build a house with stairs, and that's normal for you. So, okay, the stairs, I can go up, to the next level, say go up to the bedrooms or whatever. A lot of people, that's how their houses are laid out. You have to take the living room downstairs and all that. So you go upstairs and there are the bedrooms and other stuff up there, and you build it with stairs to suit you. You don't think about, well, okay, what if I have relatives and friends come over and they're in a wheelchair? They can't use the stairs. And so I love that. I love that analogy so much. And, and Meghan chimed in, she said, oh, okay. It was such a great point. It's like when they build a house, it's like you're not thinking in terms of, oh, I just hate other people, or I want to cause other people harm because I built my house with stairs. But because I'm only thinking of me, I hadn't considered what that would be like for other people who don't have the use of their legs and they can't go up the stairs. So even when you build a house with stairs, there's going to be a point where you need to adjust and you have to make some renovations, or you have to, maybe build a ramp. So you have the stairs, and then you have other people come into your life who can't use the stairs. So that's why you need to build a lift, going up the stairs so that they can go up too. And that's so I love that aspect of thinking, when you see people, whether they're using the those negative tropes in whatever way, is also taking on that maybe that person, when they're doing it, it may not necessarily be that, okay, I just hate women, or I just hate, and I just want to cause harm and hurt to women. But because whatever they're doing, they're only thinking about from their perspective. They're only seeing things from their perspective, through their lens, and they hadn't taken on what that would mean for other people. And so I like that. I mean, some people do it because they really want to bash women, but not everybody. And so I love that other perspective of seeing that, of looking at it like that as well. It's like, okay, I hadn't, that was very interesting. Trevor Noah had some really great points, I have to say. I was just like, oh, wow. That was really, really, that was so, what do you guys think about that? I would love to know. Let's see, what else did Trevor Noah say? Oh, one thing I forgot about was at the beginning when Meghan was talking to I think she's what is she, a professor or psychologist? I think she is. When she was talking about a strong back and a soft front, and I think that when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly Harry and Meghan. It's exactly Harry and Meghan, because this is what it says, and you guys can tell me what you think about that. It says, it's the word strong back and soft front. And this is something I got from Roshi Joan Halifax. Strong back, soft front. And what it's really talking about is something that brings the best out of both genders. You might think of it as fierce compassion, where you have to have a strong back, which means you have to stand in for truth, be protective, have your boundaries, and simultaneously a soft front where the heart is open and the heart is caring. So I think it's a really valuable image that both genders can use to wake up out of the limitations of stereotypes and to move forward in our world in the way that is both compassionate and strong. And I was just like, that is exactly Harry and Meghan. That's exactly what they do. They have a very strong back in that they will speak the truth. They will say, you know, eh, say the Oprah interview and all other interviews that they've done where they've stood up and spoken out, whether it's racism, whether it's, the way they're treated in the royal family and all of those things. They have stood up and spoken out against things. And then on the other side, they do have a soft heart in their love and their compassion and their giving. And you don't have to be, and I love this so much because you don't have to be one or the other. You can be both. And that is exactly how they are. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. But really, I really thought, yeah, that is definitely Harry and Meghan. They do have that strong back and they do have that soft front. And so a lot of times they would be like, you'd always hear the comment, and I've seen it so many times from royal reporters. How could they say they are compassionate but speak out again, but call the royal family racist, which they never did. They never called the royal family. They said someone in the family was concerned. But to the royal reporters, yeah, they condemned the queen and everybody else and called them racist, which honestly they are. even if Harry and Meghan did say, yes, every single one of them are racist, they would be completely correct, but that's the thing that always comes back. Well, if they had compassion, because if you look at their website, it talks about leading with compassion, and people have misconstrued that to mean soft, that they are just these soft, cuddly teddy bears that and because they lead by that word compassion, it means that then they cannot stand up against racism. They cannot stand up against injustice because somehow it's contradictory. And it's like, no, you can be both. And so I really love that they put that phrase together, like strong back with a soft front. And I was like, yes. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts about that as well. Let's see. Lorna says, I agree with Trevor Noah that that is why on average people move at least 4 times in their lifetime to renovate, because the house they live in It is not built for the patterns of living. Oh, okay, there you go. You move or renovate your house and make it, as you grow or as you have more people in your life, it may not be where, may not be able to accommodate where your life is. So okay, there you go. um let's see. This thing keeps jumping on me. Compton Caligal says the royal family mouthpiece have to defend them every day. I know that is some job. It's kind of like they're not racist, and then the royal family does something racist. It's just like, okay. Um, J Matt says, "Hi, Pedal. Great podcast today. Didn't expect to have men today. Loved it. Hi, squatties." I know, J Matt. It definitely was a great podcast. And I too agree. I really loved hearing the men's voices and the men's take on things. And also, too, at the end, where, Andy Cohen just, his thing at the end was he just felt like, the stereotype that he had as as a child, and now that may have changed as an adult, and he just felt like he's always felt like women were more dramatic, and he still feels the same. So some people they haven't grown in that area yet. And I think Trevor Noah's was that that women are not like what did he say, like women are not like a fantasy or something, and they are human, that when back then it's like women are thought of as an idea as opposed to a real human being. So yeah. And I think, was it because I think that was when Megan was singing, was it that when she was singing Poison, because it's seen, women are seen through the lens of a man as opposed to the other way around. Whether it's by music or movies or whatever, all of those songs is from the view of a man. Like, for example, say Poison, they are looking at a woman and thinking, and saying that the woman is poison. Again, my conflicted feelings about that song. I love that song, except I hate the message. How is that possible? Let's see. Alma says, exactly. Megan fell in love with a man and he with her. She doesn't need them, and Harry doesn't need them. No, that neither of them do. Neither of them need them. Let's see. Moving up. Compton Caligal says Howard's sidekick Robin sat back for years watching him objectify women and laughed. I didn't, it's so funny. Like, I knew of them like years and years ago. I didn't even realize, and I literally forgot about them. So until I saw this article, I was like, oh, Howard Stern. I literally forgot about them. And I think the article is saying that Robin, who again I literally forgot about her, she was apparently pushing back, but I guess not much. But yeah, that's one thing I knew about him. Like, he was being his vile self, and she would just sit there laughing. And there are unfortunately Black people like this, and it, oh, hi. Cookies and cream, our awesome moderator says, that's why the unroyals and the racist goons always downplay Meghan's accomplishments. They can't accept Meghan is a rich, self-made biracial woman, and she isn't enamored by them or their money. Yeah, and that's why they're angry. Because, people with Black blood are supposed to fall on their knees and lick their boots and worship them. And all of a sudden, she isn't doing that. And not only that, she saw the best that they have to offer and said, peace out. My life in California is a lot better than this. I am not bowing to you. And they can't, I don't think for the rest of their life, they will ever get over the fact that Meghan said peace out to them. They will never get over it. They would be whining about this for the rest of their lives. I really, really, really believe that. Dana says most men don't like drama, and because because women are more expressive with their emotions. I can understand Andy, and that is exactly what he said. It's not that men they're not dramatic, they just hold it in, and then they express that in a lot of ways, and a lot of times, sometimes violently. Women just speak, and they are more expressive. So and she also says, Dana also says, we must evolve to have a hard back and a soft front. Yeah. And both men and women, like, sometimes we can be one or the other. We can be these pushovers, or we can just be hard. And I have been both of the, well, I don't think I was ever really a major pushover, but I was definitely a hard back. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I'm learning that balance. I'm learning the balance where I can really stand up. It's like, look, and not take nonsense, but also be, a compassionate person. I think I'm kind of getting there. There's especially in my speech, a lot of times I could, I used to be just bam, I could just take you out. And one of the things, I'm learning is, speak the truth, pedal, but in love. I haven't gotten there quite yet, but I'm learning how to speak the truth in love. And that is from the Bible. And so that is, and for me, is not just in our speech, but in our way with each other as well. Be firm in what you believe and in your standards, but also have compassion. So yeah. And again, for me, that is definitely Harry and Meghan. Don't play with them. They will come at, especially like you come after them, they will come after you, but they're also loving and kind. So which, in a lot of ways, I think I expect that kind of character in Harry's book. I'd also, in that Phantom docu-series, if that ever becomes a reality, talk about reality series. I expect the same thing, that hard back and soft front, that's exactly what I expect. Let's see. And guys, that major shade at the end. What did you guys think? Oh, let me pull that up. I'm like looking at all this from my pad. I have like the transcripts in front of me. And it's just like, oh, that transcripts that quote was amazing. Meghan says, this is what I wanted to leave you with. It's from a couplet within the piece of writing by Greek poet Christianopoulos. And he says, "What didn't you do to bury me? But you forgot that I was a seed." And that's paraphrasing the quote a little bit, but she made it personal. What didn't you do to bury me? But you forgot I was a seed. And I love it. To all the haters that tried to bury her, to the royal family, to the press who have tried to bury her. And I love that Meghan talked to, she just let them know, yo, you've done everything. What didn't you do to try to bury me? But y'all forgot I was a seed. In order for me to grow, I needed to be buried. You thought you were killing me. But when you put me under the ground, what happened? I'm growing. I am growing. And I love it. I love how Meghan, and she does it so classy. She just has this classy way of telling you off. I love it. I have to learn that sort of classy shade that Meghan does. I love it. And I also love how she talks about just, talking about all of these things that she feels seen, that she didn't expect, like, because she's, you're not seeing her or any of those things, but she felt seen. And I just like, yes, Meghan, we see you, we hear you, we hear where you're coming from with all of these things. And I just love that. I love it. And, and that's when at the end she says, to that point, my friends, keep growing, and I'll see you on the flip side. As ever, I'm Meghan. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh my goodness. I'm like, girl, you know how to shade the people. And I love the fact that you said, I'll see you on the flip side. So who knows? I mean, again, from that statement, it looks like there is going to be a season 2, which, I mean, Spotify would be stupid to not have it. But I absolutely, absolutely love it. I'm like, Meghan does not have to pound anybody over the head. She doesn't have to yell and scream at anybody, but she knows how, I mean, she's a wordsmith. She knows how to use her words. She knows how to use her poetry. She knows how to use her words to make her point very clear. And she does it with one statement. What haven't you do to bury me? But y'all forgot that I'm a seed. Oh, I just love it. The funny thing is I haven't seen any and I really didn't check around a lot, but a lot of times you'd see the screenshots coming in. I haven't seen any screenshot of any royal reporter addressing that seed analogy. I haven't seen it. So yes. But jump in the chat for a second. Connie, Cookies and Creams talking about Connie talking to Connie Bomber. They're paying big time now. The stupidity overplayed their hands. They lost their most valuable player due to racism, jealousy, hypocrisy, arrogance, xenophobia. Amen, amen, amen. You just said it all there, Cookies and Cream. You just said it all. Yes, yes, Maria. Mama Doria did teach that woman. She taught her well. Absolutely. Oh, bye, Victoria. Have a great day. Happy you were able to join for a few. So happy. Educate, you said, she's talking to Church. Nelly says the seed analogy is perfect. I'm telling you, you could not have ended this with a more perfect quote. At least paraphrase. You couldn't have ended it better. I love it. Thierry says that quote was the ultimate ending of all the endings. Loved it. Only Meghan can say it. Well done. I'm telling you, well done all around. It's just been an incredible experience every Tuesday. I feel seen, taught. I've had such an education that I'm going to go back to all of them, and I'm going to be reading all the books and all of the things I just want to immerse myself into the whole thing. It has just been such an incredible education. So many of these people that, I may have seen, or some of them I'd never heard of in my life. And it's just like, oh, and it just, all of a sudden I'm into poetry. I've never been into poetry my whole life. And so all of a sudden I'm into poetry. So it is just, I just think it's fantastic. Let's see, a few more before we move on to, believe it or not, I had other things to talk about too. We've been talking about this for an hour and 17 minutes. So take one more before we jump to a couple of other things before we end. Let's see. Emma said that seed will continue to grow. Love it. Absolutely love it. Bonnie says, I scream out when I heard Meghan talk about this. What exactly did you scream, Bonnie? Like, yes, girl, you said it. Yes. Is that what you screamed? I would love to hear what you said, Bonnie. Let's see. Lana says Meghan Girl sang that song, That Girl Is Poison. I think she's referring to how the royal family and the rodents thought of her. Yep, that could be it too. Yep, there's always a deeper meaning. So absolutely awesome. So anyway, we have a couple more things before we end. It's so funny. Again, we had other things to talk about, but Archetypes was so amazing. I could spend 2 hours just talking about this. But this is this is the seeds. The actual quote says they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. So that's the actual quote from Dinos Christianopoulos, who Meghan would basically paraphrase. Says they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. So that was really cool to learn that I'd never heard of him before. So again, that's another thing I learned. And also there's this blog that were, I guess they were rating podcasts. And so look at the top podcasts. There's top 5 podcasts for the past week. K63 saw a spike on Wednesday, but the top 5 podcasts on this blog is Archetypes. Still holding at Spotify podcast, and then it's number 1 Maddo, who's Rachel Maddow, K63, Quiet Parts Out Loud, and We Are 3. So those were from this blog. Those were the top podcasts last week. So Archetypes, as you can see, was number 1 there. And so great podcast. It's like a critic's review, whatever. So I had never heard of them. I saw someone on one of the squatties posted, and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. And I checked it out. So that's, according to them, that's Archetypes is number 1. I'm telling you, so many people are into this podcast. Is amazing. After all of this, today obviously is the Power of Women event that's going to be going on this evening. There are a lot of squatties going, so prayers, for a wonderful evening. I hope hope we hear about it. Again, the press has been banned, so there's not going to be any press coverage for this event, so women could be free to share and be vulnerable and open, and I'm assuming so that's probably why they banned any press. So just prayers for them, for their safety and all of that stuff, and that they have a fantastic day. And then we can hear about it later when the squatties share, or whomever share about it. Maybe Power of Women will share about it after. So really excited about this. So also, what else is happening? This is really cool. We talked about this yesterday. I realized I posted the wrong bag. I posted the wrong tote. So this is the tote that's going to be given to SmartWorks. So 500 of these totes is what they're going to get. It's just so beautiful and classy. Again, Meghan wants them to have the best, and it's a design that a designer that she uses. So they want her to have the best. So Kiana posted it. And if you look on the right, Daniel Martin, who is one of Meghan's besties. And apparently he is besties with those people, the ladies who own Kiana. So this is what he posted. Kiana times SmartWorks in partnership with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Couldn't be more proud of my friends. Stronger together. And again, everyone celebrating that partnership. And so that's what Daniel Martin, Meghan's bestie, that was on his Instagram stories yesterday. And the one on the left is Kiana's Instagram stories yesterday as well. So kudos. I am so excited. It's such a great partnership. And for Thanksgiving, Meghan had on Archwell, Meghan and Harry had posted what they did for Thanksgiving to help the downtown women's shelter. And so the downtown women's shelter, they posted this yesterday. That was on their Instagram post, their Instagram stories yesterday. A huge thank you to the Archwell Foundation team for helping DWC preparing Thanksgiving lunch for over 300 participants and residents. So they were thanking the Sussexes. And I love the little Harry and Meghan clip they have right under there. This is like, oh, that's so cute. Very, very, very cute. A little cartoon version of Harry and Meghan at the bottom there. So they're very happy that Harry and Meghan came for Thanksgiving and helped to serve. And this was so great. I am so happy for Tyler Perry. This man, whatever gifts and whatever he receives, I just feel like he just deserves it. He is an angel from the Lord in how he just gives back and supports people. So whatever wonderful thing that is going Tyler Perry's way, I am all for it. So he, Amazon Studio tweeted, huge news. Tyler Perry has closed the deal with Amazon Studios to write, direct, and produce 4 films for Prime Video. And so Tyler Perry is now hooked up with Amazon. And and again, one of the things that people have always attacked Tyler Perry for is his writing and his directing of his shows. And I'm always of the opinion, leave the man alone. If you don't like his work, you don't have to follow you. There's no reason to attack him. He wants to write and direct his show. Let him. And so I've gotten into Twitter fights and all of that stuff with people who are attacking him. And I'm like, leave the man alone. You don't have to watch it. So let him do. This is his dream to do. Leave him alone. If you have a problem with it, go get your own studio. And so that's my take on that. So kudos to Tyler Perry for that. And of course, yesterday, if you look at what's trending for a period there, Tyler topping Meghan. It was like, oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So kudos to Tyler Perry. You know, the fact that they are giving him money to write, produce, and I actually have to watch this film about this jazz film that he just did that I still haven't watched yet. But apparently it's really, really good. And so I'm telling you, you can only grow and not if you don't let people and their opinion dissuade you from the things that you want to do, more chance than not, you'll succeed. Just stay with it and grow in whatever it is, whether it's writing, directing, whatever. Let people, stay in their criticisms, whatever it is they want to do. But kudos to Tyler Perry for this. I'm very, very, very happy to see that. Also, this is from a previous episode, actually, and Candace Bushnell, she was a writer for Sex and the City. I guess she was a little late in promoting her when she was on the podcast. So, so apparently Tatler, this is what she posted on her Instagram. She posted a clip of Tatler article talking about her, that the Duchess of Sussex praises iconic Sex and the City as she interviews Candace Bushnell. And Candace Twitter on her Twitter, she says, "I love talking to the truly iconic Meghan Markle at Sussex Royal on her Archetypes podcast, now streaming on Spotify, links and stories." So yeah, so a little bit later, it's a little bit late, but I love the fact that she enjoyed talking. She's like, the truly iconic Meghan Markle. You go, Candace Bushnell. You are iconic as well. So yeah. And finally, Invictus, guys, Invictus is coming up. They posted this yesterday. Invictus Games 2023, the countdown begins. Tickets, opening and closing ceremony, you can get tickets. So on the 30th of this month, which is tomorrow, what is today? The 29th, I think. Tomorrow is the 30th. I guess you can start getting tickets for next year's ceremony, the opening and closing ceremony, the 9th and the 16th of September 2023 in Dusseldorf, Germany. You can get tickets starting tomorrow for that. So there you go. So you want to get opening and closing night tickets, you can start doing so tomorrow. So they are excited. We're excited. I am like, you go Invictus. So but anyways, guys, I'm gonna jump in the chat for a couple of seconds, and before we end, thank you so much, Black Queen. I appreciate it. Says, but I'm glad you stand with the Sussex Corner. You're an awesome ally. You can defend me in court anytime. Or don't do anything. Don't be doing anything, Black Queen. I don't need to be going to court to defend you, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you, the kindness of your hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see one more before we end. Alma says, but I'm so glad Meghan's inspirational educational podcast ended today on my birthday. She isn't buried. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Alma. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alma. Happy birthday to you and many more. I hope you have a fantastic birthday, Alma. Thank you for letting us know it's your birthday. And you are so right. She is not married. No more. She is growing. She is sprouted out of the ground, So I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really, really, really appreciate it and appreciate you spending almost a couple of hours with me. So, we're going to end it there. And thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Karen M, Church Nelly, Julie Rock. didn't see Julie Rock, I don't think, and Cookies and Cream for hanging out with us and making this place really nice and safe. And I appreciate you, and thank you to all our 2 Cents Crew members and who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate your support, and also our Gold Star supporters who support the channel, as you see, who do super thanks, super stickers, all of you who do PayPal, Cash App, super thanks, all of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, no obligation. These wonderful people are doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. So there, again, no obligation, but if you're interested in supporting us, please, I would appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. And if you're new here and you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do that. Please subscribe, or please like this video, share it with your friends. And again, if you're able, join the 2 Cents Crew and support the channel monthly. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you all. Have a fantastic day, whether, most likely jumping over to Baron or Duchess of Success. I will see you next time. I love you guys.